Hey all, it's Lee Hinken here from Hyper Prospecting. Got a super valuable video for you all today where I'm going to be talking about how I'm using AI for lead generation. If you're kind of involved in any kind of lead gen business development, you no doubt have seen how AI has changed lead gen in a very big way. Basically, if you're not using AI, you're pretty much getting left behind. So what I'm going to show you in this video is how I'm using AI to actually improve results from outbound lead gen campaigns. And by the time you finish watching this video, hopefully it's given you some ideas on how you can actually also utilize AI in different capacities for your campaigns. Because I can guarantee you, you're going to get better results when you actually use AI. So it's going to be a super valuable video. It's going to be a super short one. I'm actually going to go through like actual real examples, like client examples, stuff like that. So yeah, I am going to whip through this fairly quickly, but you'll get the point of it. So let's just dive straight in. So basically, most of what I'm going to actually show you in this video is going to be like different kind of ways you can use ChatGPT, different prompts to actually improve messaging and stuff like that. But towards the end, I will actually show a couple software I use as well. That's AI based that'll help you get results. So let's just dive straight into it. So I'm going to go through a few different prompts or examples of how you would use ChatGPT and actual prompts. And then I'm actually going to go into ChatGPT and walk through an actual example from a client that literally, I think it was just yesterday or the day before I was using this on. So, one of the ways you can use ChatGPT is for market research to identify PMF messaging, which means product market fit messaging. So, the old way of doing this was like market research was, I remember going on Facebook groups, looking at YouTube comments, social media. Like it was pretty difficult, to be honest, and time consuming. Um, Today, Chat GPT just massively like shortens that. And really, the prompt that you can use for this is right here. So this prompt here, pretty much, you can see this is an actual real example I used for a client, so which is why it's written in this way. So obviously, if you're going to use this, obviously you're going to adapt it for your needs. But yeah, so the reason this is so good, this prompt, is because of these four questions here. You're getting ChatGPT to basically give you info regarding like the benefits of your offering, the pain points the market has, what they've tried before, the advantages your product or service offering is going to give to this target market, the kind of results they're looking for, stuff like that. And it'll get you this info literally in a matter of minutes. So, yeah, it's super effective. And I'll actually go through an example of a real client that I did this for just the other day. Another way you can use ChatGPT, a way that I use it, is to actually tighten up messaging scripts. So often, like at least when I'm creating a messaging script, as much as you kind of try to write messaging as simple as possible, jargon free as possible, you're probably just going to miss stuff due to just, human biases and whatever. Like you're just probably going to miss stuff. So a good way to use Chat GPT, and I do this nearly for like every like messaging script, is to use Chat GPT to actually tighten the script. So it'll basically make it generally maybe shorter or just the language with less fluff. So it's just easier to understand with less jargon, stuff like that. This is very simple. This is the prompt I use to do that. So you literally just like copy and paste that prompt in, add the email messaging script, click enter, and it will basically rewrite it in third grade level English. Obviously, because it's AI, you gotta double check it and stuff like that. But yeah, I do this for every messaging script, and I find it super effective. And like I said, I always think I'm writing something without jargon and stuff like that. But whenever I do this exercise, I will see that there's probably parts I didn't. So yeah, it's just really useful to do. Very effective way to tighten messaging scripts and make your messaging clearer than you think it is. Okay, it's very effective. This one here, coming up with campaign level offers. So basically what I mean by that, I mean just like samples of a service offering or a product offering, like lead magnets and stuff like that. That's what I mean by a campaign level offering. So it's kind of something that's related to your service offering, but not exactly your service offering that you're going to pitch. So this is to come up with like an offering specifically for your outreach that's related to your service offering or product, which is why it's called a campaign level offering. Rather than a service level offering for your outreach. Okay, so yeah, just something related to your service offering, like a lead magnet, a sample. ChatGPT again is great for this. Okay, I use this a lot when I'm trying to come up with good lead magnet ideas. And as you can see from the prompt here, so this is an example that I've used recently, and it will basically spit out. And I'll actually go and show you, as I mentioned at the start of the video, I'll show you in ChatGPT how I've done this for a client recently. But yeah, ChatGPT will just list out a whole list of different lead magnets, and then you can, depending on what it spits out, you can basically tell ChatGPT to expand upon a specific each of them, or even just one or two that you think might perform better. Just really going to depend. But like I said, I will show you an example of this shortly. So that's a really good way to do it. And I think by default you should be using campaign level offers in your outreach campaigns now. So ChatGPT will make coming up with ideas much faster. Coming up with angles for cold email campaigns. So again, I'm going to go through exact examples of this shortly, but ChatGPT will help you with this. Like it just, a lot of the times you might be just looking at everything a client supplied you, all the research they've done, and all the materials they give you as part of a campaign, which you still should do, by the way. I'm not saying you shouldn't do any of that. But you can often, might take you like ages just to come up with ideas and angles. Whereas ChatGPT will just like spit out a bunch of angles, and then you can just like leverage those for your own campaigns. It just like makes coming up with ideas faster and easier and more effective. That's really what this particular prompt is going to do. Okay, so example here is just literally like what I've highlighted now. So you see I've written it here. It's like related to pain points. That's because it was used as part of like a whole bunch of other prompts. But this will make sense when I actually go through the real client example shortly. But that's another really good way as well. It'll just shorten that ideation phase for you. Makes things much more effective. And another really cool way, finding new and untapped markets. So obviously it's going to depend on the market you're in, but if you've kind of not, if you're not limited to a specific niche, this is really useful. And I mean, this is just a pretty simple prompt, to be honest. So you can see it here. This is literally a live prompt that I've used before. So yeah, it's just basically you're going to tell. It's very similar to the very first prompt, actually. It's only a slight tweak, but the questions are a little bit different because it's basically going to list out a bunch of different industries, okay? And then you can customize this accordingly. As you can see, I've put don't include e-commerce companies. But yeah, if you want to find potentially new markets that you might not be as saturated as the ones you're currently going for, ChatGPT can help you with that as well. Pretty much help you with anything, to be honest. Just makes everything so much faster and easier in the whole kind of outbound lead gen process. So yeah, that's really useful. And last but not least, I mean, the first prompt I covered really covers this, but maybe if you want to go specifically deeper on pain points, you might want to use this one. And you'll see here this prompt. This is a prompt I've used for a client. So, if you've got a specific target market and you want to go really deep with their pain points and challenges, this prompt is really good for that. So you can see, yeah, this is a real prompt I've used for a client of mine, a UX agency, and yeah, so they obviously had different verticals they wanted to look at, and then had this segment of customer service managers. So basically, I wanted to go really deep in terms of understanding their pain points, like what's the pain points of a customer service manager, and what do they try and all that kind of stuff. So it's a really good one if you want to kind of go really deep with a specific target market or persona segment, that kind of thing. So they're really the main kind of ways in which you can use that I at least use so far, ChatGPT for outbound lead gen campaigns, just makes stuff way faster. You come up with ideas quicker, everything. It just shortens that kind of gap, I guess, from going from 0 to 10 significantly. And it improves your results significantly too because of the kind of info it will spit out that you might not have otherwise thought about. And even sometimes a client can just overlook as well, despite them knowing their market well. So, yeah, really useful. So I'll actually go through. There's some actual software I'm going to cover shortly, but I'll go through ChatGPT and actually show. So this is actually I did this. I don't know because I haven't written previous 7 days. I think it was maybe 2 days ago. I did this. Doesn't matter. It was recent. So you can see the prompt here. So the particular client this is for a paid for performance and PR agency. Okay, and so yeah, I mean, you can see on the screen here who they're targeting: mental health clinics, counseling clinics, that's psychologists, psychotherapists, psychiatrists, that kind of stuff. And you can see this is the first prompt. And I've actually got the questions here and then I've just, yeah, adapted it. So you can see here, ChatGPT has basically spat out like a whole bunch of different stuff. Yeah, it's answering the first question here. The second question, third question here, and then the fourth question. And you can see, so yeah, and it spits this out just in like, I don't know, a minute or so. And then it's even talking, because I asked about crafting outbound messaging. So then it's saying what it should emphasize. So these kind of things, that's related to the client service offering, as you can see. And then coming up with angles as well. This is what I covered just in the document a moment ago. So I've basically asked what are 4 good angles we can use in a cold email campaign that's related to the pain points. And so you can see now ChatGPT has come up with all these angles and how it's addressed the pain point. So you can see here's the angle, here's the pain point it's addressed. Then it's like an example. And just as I go through this, just want to point out, yeah, you never want to copy and paste this kind of stuff in your actual messaging because it's like you can I can at least tell when something's AI generated. I'm sure a lot of people can. So yeah, just want to point that out. Like you're using this to get ideas, not to copy and paste. So just thought it's useful to point out. Yeah, so you can see different angles here. It's got the pain point address, the angle, the example. Yeah, so I've basically asked it for four angles. Again, pain point, the angle. And so you can test all these angles. You can come up with like 4 angles for this client to then test with all the data you've sourced. So if you've sourced 20,000 counseling clinics, psychologists, you can really run A/B tests on all these 4 angles to see which is like resonating most as an example. That's why you do this. Okay. So yeah, that's one way to do it. And here I've actually asked, I didn't actually cover this in the document before, but because in the data set we sourced, we have like owners and CEOs, founders of mental health clinics, plus we got like marketing heads and directors and stuff like that. So you can even use this ChatGPT to come up with ideas for segmenting your messaging and kind of the things you should highlight in your messaging for each persona, which is what this question here is about, as you can see. And then it's basically, telling it's going to basically, yeah, as you can see, so it's the key focus areas. So this is kind of what you'd want to make sure you kind of at a top level focus on for this persona. And then it's even provided like example here. And then it's talking about for marketing directors, and it's obviously providing what you want to focus on for your messaging for this particular segment. So yeah, it's really useful for that stuff as well, which I didn't cover in the doc. And then here, this was really great. This was useful. It's covering the core differences to highlight in the messaging for each segment, for each area. So, return on investment, what the CEO is going to be more interested on, what the marketing directors are going to be more interested on. All this stuff you can use to create really tight, specific messaging that's going to get you a better response rate. And then I've even asked to, yeah, provide examples. As you can see, I'm not going to really spend much time on this one. So this is what I mean when I say you don't want to copy and paste. Like, to me, if you said this to someone, it's kind of obvious it's AI generated, and it's just not good for a cold email anyway. You want to tighten it and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so the whole point with these is, like I said, is to get ideas. So yeah, and as you can see, it's even just examples of how it's highlighted four differences. And then I've kind of gone a bit deeper with this prompt. Are there any concerns for each group, which is basically the segment we should be aware about. And then it's kind of gone additional concerns for each regarding each thing. Um, yeah, and additional concerns for the marketing heads. So this is pretty much how you use it. And then, yeah, it's basically tailoring. So this is what I mean. It's just like, and then I've even gone in here. So I've built out a whole chat for this campaign. So I've actually asked about the lead gen magnets, front end offers, which was one of the prompts I provided in the Google Doc before. So you can see examples here: free media audit and media blueprint. So this gives you ideas of what you can offer. Obviously, case study, lead magnets, stuff like this, checklist. I think we actually went with in the end. I think it was an opportunity report is the one we went with in the end, at least to start testing out of all of these. So yeah, you can see this is basically how you, and then it's got here, it's basically telling you how you can use them. Just examples. Can you expand upon using the free media or opportunity report? So it goes a bit deeper into what that entails, which will give you more ideas for how you can position the messaging you're going to use and stuff like that. You can see all the different books here. So yeah, you can see it's quite a comprehensive thread at this point. Um, yeah, like I said, that's the end of it basically. So you can see basically in this entire thread how I've combined those prompts that I was going through on the Google Doc, how I've basically combined them in the one thread. And that's really what you want to just, it just makes this whole process of coming up with ideas, angles, messaging, what you're going to test, what you're going to offer, like so much faster and more effective. And yeah, like you just absolutely have to be utilizing this, in my opinion. So that's an example of how hopefully that makes kind of all these I went through clearer now. So yeah, really, really super useful. And just to finish off, just to quickly go over some lead gen software that's AI based I use. I mean, there's actually more I use than what I've listed here, but I've just got a couple here listed. So Lead Formatter, this is actually a pretty cool tool. I started using literally like a couple of weeks ago. It's basically a paid Chrome extension. It's like $25 a month or something. Super cheap, honestly, for what it does. Like whoever created it should be charging more, in my opinion. But it will segment like your CSV file based on job titles, countries, industries. It'll format company names, job titles. It'll generate AI like personalized lines. It's really cool. So I'll actually show you. So again, this is the same audience that I just showed you in the ChatGPT thread. So I've actually used Lead Formatter to format company names and stuff like that. Still need to segment the job titles, which I haven't done yet, and I've used it also to get company LinkedIn descriptions and the company basically service description. So I can actually use this um, to populate in my messaging when I upload it. So it'll look a bit more relevant that way. So it's like, we help adolescent treatment clinics get XYZ. We help autism therapy clinics get XYZ. Like, just creates more relevancy. So I use Lead Formatter to do this. I'll just quickly open it just to show you. I won't do an example, but I'll just show you what it can do. It's really useful if it's going to load. Hold on, let me just try. It might not work, which is typical when you're on a video. There we go. Okay, so yeah, just like it's got these tasks like removing blanks, duplicates, yeah, formatting company names, segmenting by country, segmenting by job title. Then you got the chat GPT tasks. Again, these are just a bit more advanced, these two, compared to these like manual task ones. Yeah, pull LinkedIn company descriptions, which is what I did here for column V. Generate company service descriptions, which is what I did here for column W. Generate personalized lines, which I haven't done, which will do that as well. It'll check for a case study. It'll pull the name of the case study. So yeah, it's a really, really cool tool. Does a lot of stuff that people use Clay for, to be honest, without it costing $300 a month or whatever it is. I mean, I used to use Clay for this kind of stuff, and I was paying an absolute huge amount of money. And then, yeah, I mean, for what I wanted to do, I just didn't need to pay that kind of money. Lead formatter will do it for you way cheaper if you're just looking to do stuff like this, like formatting company names, list segmentation in your spreadsheets, personalized lines, stuff like that. Obviously, I'm not knocking Clay. I think it's a great tool if you want to do data enrichment and stuff like that. But yeah, this is a lot cheaper for a lot of the stuff that people, in my experience, use Clay for. This is $25 a month compared to paying 300 a month for Clay or more. Um, so yeah, lead format is a really cool tool, and also just a couple quick ones here. Better contacts. This is just an AI data enrichment tool. So if you upload like sometimes Apollo will give you a lot of unavailable email addresses. You can upload those into Better Contacts, and it will basically find basically what Apollo couldn't, not all the time, but some of them it will. And it uses like 15 providers, so it's really useful. Always use this to kind of top up the data set. You might get like an extra few hundred contacts per 5,000 source leads or something like that. Yeah, it's definitely useful just to get a few extra contacts that maybe other database providers aren't giving you. AI spin tax writers. This is basically a part of Instantly, so they actually also have like a spam checker that's AI based as well. Yeah, Instantly is a tool I use for cold email campaigns. Super useful. So this spin tax writer is really good. So basically, spin tax just means like randomizing text snippets of text in an email, which for deliverability you pretty much got to be doing today. So I won't go through that. I mean, you can just check out Instantly, just type Instantly AI in Google and you'll see it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So I really just wanted to go through, I guess, probably these chat GPT examples and prompts mostly. That's the most useful way to use this stuff. So that's pretty much it for this video. Hopefully it's given you an idea on how I'm using AI for lead generation and how you can do it similarly to actually get great results. Definitely need to be doing it. You'll definitely notice it makes things much easier, and you will get way better results if you do this. So that's pretty much it for this video. Hope you liked it. If you enjoyed the video, yeah, please do subscribe to the channel, like the content, share the video if you think it's valuable. And if you'd like to get one-on-one help with your cold email outbound campaigns, please do book a call, which will be a link down the bottom in the description of the video. That's pretty much it for this one. Stay tuned for the next video and see you next time.